I and my Father are one. Only love is real, and love alone heals. And my commitment is to the reality of love. And therefore, Father, bring each moment to me that I might learn anew to love, and allow that love to transform a temporary illusion into that which extends the good, the holy, and the beautiful. Herein lies your purpose, herein lies your function, and herein, and only here, is life. Hello friends! In this video I'm going to be talking about Lesson 6 in the Way of Transformation. And this is the second book of a trilogy, The Way of Mastery. And these books are a channeling of Jeshua ben Joseph, or Jesus. And they are by JON MARC HAMMER, or Jayem. A channeling of Jesus, you say, what? Yes, if you listen to them, I think you will feel and you will come to find that it truly is this enlightened master. These books have been changing my life. I highly recommend them. And they're available free online at womlibrary.com. The main idea in Lesson 6 is that creation waits for you. And what he means by this is that creation is neutral. It is meaningless. It has no power over us. It is really us that gives it meaning, that imbues it with power. And we are completely free to give it the meaning we choose to give it. And our true function here is to bless, is to love, is to extend love to creation. All of creation waits on your welcome, and creation does not wait to swallow you. Creation does not wait to prove to you that you live in an unloving universe. Creation is innocent. Creation, and listen very carefully, is utterly powerless. It becomes powerful according to that which you give unto it, the value, the meaning, the purpose, and the function. These things come not from creation itself, but rather they are extended to it, they flow to it, they penetrate creation through the minds, which share one mind of each and every one of you. So really, he goes on to say, our purpose here is pretty simple. It is merely to extend that love of creation, of God, of the Creator. We are meant to bless all that we see, all of creation, so that it too may remember what it really is. In other words, we are meant to shine the light into the darkness. That is why we are here. The function of the Holy Child of God remains eternally one, to bless creation and thereby restore it to the perfect reflection of God's presence. And God is but love. Love then embraces all things, trusts all things. Love is the nature of your being. And then he says, therefore, we are all basically Christ. We are all the Messiah. We are all meant to be as he was when he lived on earth. It's just an empty channel of love, of forgiveness, of blessing everything in creation. Because in truth, it is all one. And we become as he was, and as many other masters that have lived on earth, by deciding what we're committed to, by deciding what voice we're going to listen to, the voice of fear or the voice of love. He then gives us a brief little exercise, which is similar to one he gave in a previous lesson. And the exercise is pretty simple. In the moment right now, wherever you are, is to look around and behold something, either an object or a person, and say to yourself, I don't know what this thing is for, or I don't know what this brother or sister truly needs. And he says this is very important because it brings us back to the beginning, to a state of innocence. And to fulfill our function here, we don't need to analyze, we don't need to know these things. We don't know these things. We are just merely here to bless, to love, to extend the love. And realize that it is not necessary to know, to interpret, to analyze. Your function is to bless creation with the reality of the love of Christ. And yet, the blessing will hold no power until you return to the beginning. And the beginning is just that state of unknowing, of not knowing, of realizing your complete ignorance. For Christ does not store perceptions and knowledge. Christ, eternally in love with all that God is, merely opens, receives, and gives, knowing that that which is given comes not of him or herself, but rather through him or herself, from infinite mystery that I have called Abba, or Father. This is an idea that I really adore in these lessons, these messages from Jeshua in the Way of Mastery, is that our function is to just open up, in a way become empty, receive so that you may give what you receive, to become a hollow reed or a channel, and to surrender. Then he goes on to say something pretty exciting, which is once you practice this and more bless everything you see, forgive everything, just become that channel of love, you'll realize that you're truly unlimited and no obstacle can affect you. All barriers fall away. Because this world, this reality, creation is powerless, you give it the power. And we do so by blessing it, by loving it, by acknowledging it as one with you, as the one creator. But to do this, we must forgive. Because if we don't forgive, then it won't be genuine. We won't really love the thing if we're still angry at it, still hold judgment at something. That's why forgiveness is so crucial. Because until forgiveness is genuine, embracing is not possible. The attempt to embrace creation, while judgment is still held in the mind, merely brings what you would call in your world a great frustration. It is like reaching for the carrot at the end of the stick and never being able to reach it. And that is why we have spoken so much about the importance of forgiveness. It dissolves the barrier of fear between you and what you have come to perceive as other than or outside yourself. Forgiveness is the bridge that brings creation to you and you to it. And when you have joined with it through forgiveness, now the embrace is easy, for that creation rests in the palm of your hand. Immediately you might feel or hear within yourself, as I do within myself, it's like, but wait, what about these things that happen? What about these people that attack each other? All these outer things, how is it, what do you mean it's powerless? But again, he emphasizes creation is powerless. It is all within your mind. So really it is you changing your perceptions and loving those perceptions that brings it healing. It is a complete reversal of the normal, or I say normal, but what we're used to thinking, the egoic thinking. It's that there's things out there I need to survive, I need to figure out, I need to protect myself from them. It's a total reversal in that he's saying, there's nothing outside of you. There's no world outside of you. It is all the mind. It is all our perceptions. Creation waits upon you because it is powerless. Being the extension or the reflection of thought, you are the literal creator of the world. That world exists nowhere save within your own mind. Therefore, what world must you embrace? Must you travel to some ancient monastery 50,000 miles around the planet somewhere, 2 or 3 times, in order to find the creation that waits on your welcome? No. Must you go anywhere to discover the ability to bless and heal creation? No. The world which waits on your welcome is, quite literally, the thoughts and perceptions which you discover streaming through the field of your unique awareness, and that is all. Beloved friends, there is nothing outside of you, and if you would know your Father's will for you, merely look upon what is arising within your own mind as a perception and ask only this: am I willing now to use time constructively to embrace this creation passing through the field of my awareness and bless it with the perfect love of Christ? To embrace it through forgiveness, which returns it to its neutrality and powerlessness, and then, through that embrace, to bless it and thereby dissolve the illusory power that it seemed to hold. We are the literal creator of our world. Again, it's that reversal. Nothing's coming to us. Everything's coming from us. And then he shares an interesting idea, which is that there is nothing that is truly personal, because it is all one. There's only one true self. And he says, as you become more and more awake, and as you begin to bless and love more and more, you'll notice certain ideas or memories coming through your awareness that you can't track to yourself, to your personal self. So they seem to be coming from somewhere else, some other lifetime or some other person, because the fact that there is nothing that is personal. So that you are healing anything, because it is all one creation. We are all in this together. In reality, there is nothing that is personal. There is only Christ as God's true and only creation, and the field of illusion that has been birthed through the freedom of that mind when once it thought, I wonder if I can create something unlike God. These are the only 2 options, love or fear, reality or illusion. Therefore, all that you see that is unlike love is merely a passing phenomenon, arising within the holy mind of Christ as a temporary attempt to do something different than what Christ is created for. Therefore, when anything arises within the mind, it is truly not necessary to analyze it. Certainly don't argue for it, but rather come back to the point of ignorance. I do not know what this thought or this image or this emotion or this memory, whatever it is for. But I do know one thing. I have made a commitment to reawaken as Christ, and therefore I will use this one moment, this one thought, this one passing phenomenon to practice what I was created for, to bless creation, and thereby transform it into that which extends the good, the holy, and the beautiful, infinitely, eternally, with joy, with innocence, with graciousness, with peace. Our task then, he says, is pretty simple. It is in whatever moment you're in, wherever you're at, and wherever you're at is perfect. We always will be in the perfect place in the perfect time, is to bless that moment, to bless the interactions, to bless whatever is going on around you, and to love it, to forgive it, and that is all. He then shares an exercise, and these lessons are meant to be studied one lesson per month. So this exercise he shares, he says, is meant to be done over 30 days. First, for 5 minutes, you are to abide as Christ, and this is the exercise he shared throughout the lessons, throughout the trilogy. After those 5 minutes, acknowledge and recognize that you truly don't know what anything is for and what your brothers and sisters need. This is admitting your ignorance. This is returning to your innocence. And then you are to say in the mind, I choose to forgive the creation which will now be brought into my awareness. Holy Spirit, what is in need of my blessing? And then whatever arises within your awareness, whether it be a memory or something that you have no attachment to, just some image, some event, then you are to say, Object of creation, I forgive you the judgment I have placed upon you, and thereby it is released. Now do I embrace you. I am Christ, and in this moment I use time to its greatest glory. Beloved object, I bless you, I embrace you, I heal you. And he says to do that for about 10 to 15 minutes until you get tired or distracted. And then he says, as you do this for 30 days, you'll notice things to change in your life. And one in particular is that relationships will become more peaceful in your life, whether it be a coworker, a spouse. Because as you heal your own memories, your own past judgments, you're healing all of creation because it's all one. You're healing everyone when you heal yourself. Creation is a collaboration, and this is why relationship is the means of your salvation. All healing involves the whole of creation. And as he wraps up the lesson, he reminds us that it is really quite simple, our task here, and it is to love, to choose love over fear, and that only love can heal. Remember then that each loving thought restores you to your rightful place. Every fearful thought merely delays the moment of your release and the restoration of your perfect peace. Remember that only love can heal. No technique has ever brought healing, though it can provide a temporary field in which the mind can choose to love. Remember how perfectly simple it is. It is not possible for you to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. The end is always a thought away. Liberation, a simple choice. The way is easy and without effort. It rests in the power to decide. Woo! Another great lesson from JON MARC HAMMER, or Jeshua, in the Way of Mastery. Highly, highly recommend checking these out. Again, these lessons are just a little taste, a synopsis of it. You can find the whole lesson free online at womlibrary.com. You can also buy hard copies through his websites. I'll put those links in the description below. And this is part of a series, so check out the next lesson, lesson 7. Thank you.